follow me down, head into the unknown, down the rabbit hole, where it stops no one knows. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown.
Hi, how's my volume? I moved my microphone back, but I'll move it back forward if it's no good. How's everybody doing today? Happy Sunday for me, afternoon, evening for most everybody else. Hope everybody as well had a good weekend. Hope you did. You guys, was it like 10:30 in the morning? I went to town to get my ice cap and stuff. First day of the season. Check this out. I don't know if I can do it. Check this out. My nasty feet, but sandals with no socks. Stoked. Stoked. Spring is here. Fingers crossed. Super happy about that. Hey, Melissa, how was work?
It was work. It did not go as expected, but that's not unusual.
Okay. Somebody said I was too quiet, so I just moved it back to where it went. Okay. All right. Let me say hi to everybody because I haven't done the romper room for quite some time. Heads up, my thumbnail didn't say part 2, it said take 2 because yesterday was supposed to be a exhale from the shit that we did the day before. That went sideways, didn't it? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, and the thing is, you guys, when I'm doing a live stream, and bless Gren for joining me, I really super loved having him on here. But he was up here and he wasn't in chat, and the rest of the mods do a great job too. But I had to actually take my time and read all the comments, or try to, in order to make sure I wasn't putting up anything that I shouldn't put up. So I didn't hear absolutely everything that the guests were saying, right? So I was concentrating on chat, trying to, you know, not my thing. Anyways, so there were things that I needed to go back and replay and re-listen to. I've got a list of questions to ask Daleen. I do. I have got a number of things that I want to ask Shelly, who has not reached out to me yet, that I know of. I should probably check my message request, but has not so far. And also additional questions for Larry, obviously. So I am working on it. It is on my list, on my priority list of things to do. Just so y'all know. But yeah, that went sideways. That was supposed to be a nice chill. What do you guys want to talk about today? And then it went absolutely through the roof. So this is take 2. We're going to do what we were going to do yesterday. We're going to do that today. And I'm going to invite anybody that wants to come up again today to bring their theories, their thoughts, their opinions. I would love to hear from absolutely anybody, as long as it doesn't turn into the heated discussion that we had. I don't mind a good heated debate, but that goes a lot deeper than that, a lot further back than that. And a lot of us don't have that information. So I don't think this is the place to do it until we have more information. That's all. And we're going to look at, I also want to look at the platforms that Larry has built. And I also want to look at Melissa's document again. And we're going to put them up against each other the best we can, but in a very casual way. Okay. Carrie Bailey, good to see you. And Dodie, hey, Patriot. And Matt is Catter. Don't forget to hit the like. Might as well. Grey Wolf, thank you for being here. Kimber, hey. Angelina, good to see you. He's CJTL. And Cheryl, Hustler. So glad everybody could join me today. Hey, Nancy, Truth and Beauty, good to see you. Ori, always a pleasure. And Sea Smoke, Sinister. Hey, Just Jeannie. Trail Hiker, good to see you. Gaspago. Poppy Joe. And Seaweed. Gaspé, feeling down, wish there were answers to where these beautiful children, Jack and Lily, are. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of things that are swimming through my brain, and I just happen to live on top of a mountain. And depending on which road I take off of the mountain, I either go to a reserve or I go into the town of Salmon Arm. So today, when I was going into Salmon Arm, I decided that I am going to take a drive out to the reservation. I go there, at least twice a month anyways. I'm going to take a drive out to the reservation and I'm going to try to have a conversation with somebody on the council there. And it's absolutely not related to this case. I don't know if anybody even out here follows this case. I don't know. That's not my intention with the conversation, but I think it's important that we hear somebody who's not biased, who doesn't have an opinion, who probably doesn't have a clue what is going on in this situation, just to see what they think the First Nations community would or would not do, if that makes sense. And I think that there would be some value in that. I understand why First Nations communities in Nova Scotia, not just about Jack and Lily's case, but there's a lot of controversy right now, a lot of struggle right now, and a lot of mistrust of the government and the RCMP. And I'm not there, I don't live it, but I hear about it and I understand it, I get it. So I would understand why nobody from there would want to discuss this because this is probably much more well known. But having that kind of insight, I think would be, why not? Why not? I'm a little surprised it took me this long to think of it, to be honest with you. Anyways, Laura Lynn, thanks for being here. And April, hey, Joyous, good to see you. Rachel, good to see you today. Ernestine, thank you for joining. Happy foggy Sunday in Nova Scotia, really? Is it still relatively warm though? Does anyone think the kids never made it home on Thursday? That is a possibility. I mean, we have to keep it on the list. Autumn, good to see you. You don't think it's possible, Hustler, or you don't think they made it home Thursday? Which you don't think so. Sue Oilers, thanks for being here. Hey, Colburn. I wondered about that, but Cindy would have confirmed either way. Would she? Like how? How? Maybe. No, I don't. Okay, I better go up and see the. Does anyone thinks kids never made it home? So, okay, you don't think the kids made it home. I believe that's what you're saying. RCMP have been awfully quiet. They have, and I plan to email them here probably tomorrow. And there's nothing anybody that's going to say to them that's going to make them come out with a statement or anything else, but I want to plead my case to them. just about some of the more damaging things that are going on online and how easy it would be to, put some of it to rest. And I know that my contact reads everything that I send him and responds to everything. So I know I'm probably going to get a cookie cutter response, a canned response, but damn, Grando, good to see you. I put the link in chat if you feel like coming up. You're more than welcome. The docs say Cindy would have seen them. It doesn't mean she actually did. Who knows, since Janie says they never even went outside, like what the hell is happening? Janie said she saw them at home afterwards, right? When they got home. Praying for kindness in the world. Sky Painter, you're a very sweet soul. Cindy Sperry, good to see you. Hey, Andy. Marianne, you hear me? Good. Am I way back there? Awesome. Some Marianne, hi. Mustang, great to see you today. Christina, hey. Peace Spice, good to see you. They hot like for sure. What do you mean? What do you mean? No, Gren was, how did he put it? Salty AF, because I kind of dropped a bomb before going live. I simply forgot to mention it, you guys. It was nothing. Roots. I feel like I'm behind in chat already. That's weird. I agree looking to Marsman timeline for precedence. Cassandra, thank you for joining. Hey, Mr. Hemi. Hey, Gypsy. Justice for Jack and Lily always. Minus the paper wasp. You just got home from the dump. The hell did you go there for? Blueberry. Ice cap sounds yummy. It's my daily routine. It really is. Autumn, what gets to me is if the kids wandered off, which is don't think they did, why the hell are the parents not being charged with negligence? 3 adults there and no one knows anything. So we talk about this, or we used to talk about this quite regularly because everybody's like, the kids were neglected. And at the minimum that morning, they should have had supervision. You're absolutely right. However, and just my opinion, if the RCMP still don't know if the kids are alive, if the kids were taken, or if the kids are not alive. So a neglect charge, in that instance, they would have to show criminal negligence, and they don't even know the whereabouts of the children or what happened to them. So I think it would be extraordinarily difficult to make any kind of serious neglect charges stick. And if you look in the criminal code, the punishment isn't near where what anybody would think would be just for Jack and Lily. So I think there are reasons, even though they needed to be supervised that morning and weren't, I think there are reasons why you're not going to see a neglect charge. You hear my door? Harley came in and left the door wide open, and now it's creaking shut. Beaverbank, Donna, good to see you. Hey, it was interesting, was it? Enough with the games. I'm going to try to be more calm today. Everybody got worked up, and I think that it's important for me, for you all to know that everybody, other than Shelly, because she doesn't have my contact info, reached out to me to apologize things went the way they did. So, yeah. Nana, Cindy Sperry, you have your ice cap in hand? Perfect. I like mine on the darker side, if you know what I'm saying. I don't get anything added, but when they hand me an ice cap with less cream in it, that's that's my thing. Maria, good day, folks. Justice for Jack and Lily. Nana, good to see you. It raised a lot of questions. Yesterday raised a lot of questions for me, and like I said, I'm compiling them, and I will be getting my answers. Darlene, hey. Larry did leave the show. He was on, I don't think he was on the panel in Hidden in the Fog, but he was in the chat in Hidden in the Fog last night. Yeah. Scared to say anything? These people will contact your employer because of opinions. Who will? They can contact my employer if they want to. If you're like my full-time employer, will tell them to get fucked. And then the other part of my income is that like, I have my own job, my own clients, so they can call me all they want. Whoever you're talking about, I don't care. This is Lily and Jack Sullivan. After what Larry said about making money off cases, I don't think he's credible at all. Okay, Mama, and I understand that, and that is, if it's true, okay. But if, and I don't know for sure, but if his work involves um doing all of this intelligence work, not this open source stuff, but the things that I've heard he's doing, um people need people work in a career and they get compensated for their time. So are you going to say that nobody should be paid for working on a missing persons case? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Larry specifically. I'm just saying I'm going to wait until I get answers to my questions before I make that kind of a call. As for the GoFundMe, I'm not supportive of GoFundMes in cases of missing children unless it's for the parents who are actively searching for their children, or Maya's parents. They've got their GoFundMe, but Maya is going to need lifelong care. And that was definitely a true crime case. There are definitely situations where I would support a GoFundMe. But when we have families who aren't out in the public searching for the kids, they're not pushing awareness, um, all of the things that we're used to seeing. And I'm not going to start my shit today. I'm not saying right or wrong, but any kind of GoFundMe in a case like this, the way it's going, I'm not supportive. And it's unfortunate that I feel that way, but I just do. But it's their own business. Anybody that's got a GoFundMe, I just won't donate to it, and I won't peddle it. I won't show it. That's it. Taylor, good to see you. Hey, Shy. The converse, and don't make me defend anybody that was here today, but Larry's name was the topic of the conversation, and when I was listening back this morning, she did say Lily and Jack's name a number of times. Like I said, don't make me go back and defend anything that was going on yesterday, please. It was heated, and I know nothing about it. So, Colleen, good to see you. Yeah, the way it was said didn't come across good, but I want more information before I'm. But none of his work on the document to me has anything to do with the money, because now I get to use his platform to find information. And thankfully, I've been following this case since day 6. Heard about it right away, obviously, but I was in Mexico. So anything that's wrong in here, pretty sure I'll be able to notice it. Johnny, good to see you. I'd like to talk about when Janie said in the document she didn't even see the kids on Thursday. They never came outside. Seaweed, can you find me that? Lynn, good to see you. Did I pull back the reins? I just said let her buck, until it started to get personal. Um, the Facebook drama is where I absolutely have to draw the line. I don't support those GoFundMe for the missing children. I know 3 creators, including you, Shar, that have donated, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you appreciating that. I can't wrap my head around that Malaya said she put the kids to bed in the same clothes because she never put the clothes away that she washed. Did they not have any clothes in their room? It's weird because no matter what you say, a pull-up is meant for potty training. Children only use a pull-up once. And they're usually, if a child is 4 years old, usually wearing a pull-up when they go to bed, which leads me to believe that Jack was dressed for bed because he had a pull-up on. Now, does that mean that his jogging pants or whatever were just taken off so that she could put the pull-up on for bedtime? Maybe that's why they only thought he was wearing a pull-up, or could only say for sure he was wearing a pull-up. I think so, probably. But you're totally right. How can you not, at the ages of 4 and 6, tell your kids to go get their jammies on? I don't know. Sounds silly to me. And everything that you own is in bags. Like, I remember stuff like not ever having to go to a laundromat, but like say my daughter's favorite pair of pajamas might be in the dryer and I hadn't gotten around to fold it yet. It was still a matter of going into the dryer to get her pajamas because it was bedtime. I don't understand it. You'll join if I'll put the link in the chat if you want to come up in a little bit. Yeah. You want to put some flyers out here? Why not? Why not? Okay. I know that you tuned into yesterday's live just kind of right when it was very heated, but I would like you to. Hey, Damien, I know that they're well aware, but I just there's something that I want to throw at the person that I talk to. I know that they're well aware. I do. And I'm not gonna like send a harassing or any kind of bullshit or you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm not gonna tell them how to do their job. I just have something I want to say, and I think it's important um, because of some of the things that are becoming very popular to talk about. And I think it's damaging, and I think if there's any possible way that they can come out and put some of these harmful theories to rest, they should. And if they can't, then that's very troubling to think that absolutely everything is still on the table, including the disturbing stuff. I hope you understand what I mean, Damien. I'm not going to tell them how to do their job. It's an opinion, and I want to, I need to get it off my chest, and I need it to come off my chest straight to my contact. That's all. Please mention how Larry is stating that the RCMP know where the kids are. They could put that to bed. Yeah. 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 And I need to say it. And I need to say it for ears that can perhaps pass it on. It's troubling to me that they're not doing anything about stuff like that. Because when it comes from somebody who is, I don't want to say masquerading because I don't know. I'm not on board with the whole fraudster thing. I need to talk to Shelley more. But this person on the surface looks credible and sending the information to the RCMP, and a lot of people are going to believe it, and I think it's harmful. to an already strained relationship between the public and the RCMP in Nova Scotia. So I think it's a problem, and I don't think feeding into the drama or the hate is helping. So the information is here. We're going to look at it. We're going to compare it with Melissa's information, and we're going to ask questions. That's all we can do, because I refuse to get on the hate train too. So yes, Hustler, in a bit. Jenny, as long as you're nice. I want no shit. Gaspé Gal, Janie had two different stories. One, and that's another thing, like about this document. Some of the things, like yesterday, I was re-listening to what he was saying. Some of the answers to the questions that chat was asking him, not about Shelley, but before that. Like he had said Janie heard someone shush the kids, and we know now, even if you don't believe Janie and you believe Belinda, that Janie told Belinda that. The fact that Janie has now retracted it or is denying saying it, you have to X that out of your evidence. You can't, you have to put that under unsubstantiated, because the person who heard the kids being shushed is saying that she didn't hear the kids being shushed. So you can't say that that happened. You can't say that as a fact. So, you know what I mean? That's not evidence.
Can
That's
I
not
jump in real
evidence.
quick?
That's. I'm sorry, I forgot your hair. Interrupt me. Damn it. Just talk.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for just a second. And those of you that know me know I don't like doing it. So a couple of you, before I do that, has asked where my channel is. My channel is fine. I'm just not streaming to it tonight. So let's just say that Janie told Belinda for sure. It's a fact that she heard Malaya shush kids, right? Let's just say hypothetically that's fact. So here's the other side of that. When Janie came out of the trailer, baby M was on Malaya's hip. Could she have been going shh, shh, shh to keep her quiet and bouncing her? Okay, just think of that. Now, on the other hand, if she is now retracting that and saying, well, she didn't hear shushing, I believe Belinda, but just, you know, it's not that you got to take it out, but is there a plausible explanation for anything other than that? And I don't know how many times I had one of my kids on my hip and I was bouncing them up and down and I was shushing them, trying to get them to calm down or stay calm. I did it today with my nephew. So just keep that in mind when you think about this shushing that was supposedly said and then was retracted and supposedly wasn't said. Is there a plausible explanation to explain away a piece of evidence to where you don't take it into account, is all I'm saying. And for me, there's a plausible explanation as to why somebody would have heard shushing. Baby M was a toddler. She's being held. She doesn't want to be held. It wouldn't be hard to think that she could have possibly been shushing baby M and not Jack and Lily. Anyway, carry on.
No, actually, I'm going to ask you to hit chat for just a couple of minutes. I might have activity going on in here, so I have to mute.
Okay, so I started a couple comments. So Geofence would show who was at the property that early in the morning. Then if so, they know who was there. I agree. See smoke? I agree. Whether or not they did geofencing, I don't know. But they probably should. I've dealt with Larry, according to Rachel here. I've dealt with Larry. My lawyer used his services in a copyright infringement case against my partner. We paid like $1,000 for Larry's services and he found nothing. Maybe there wasn't anything to find. Not a missing kids case, but still. Again, devil's advocate, maybe there wasn't anything to find. I don't know enough about Larry to say he's being truthful or he's not. I don't know enough about him to make any kind of opinion. So that's just me. If Janie now says that she didn't see the kids on Thursday, that's a big issue that police need to look into. Yeah, it would be, because that's not what the court documents say. And anybody telling you that the court documents say she didn't see the kids, I need you to point it out to me. Because when I seen that in chat, I went and I pulled up her statement to the RCMP, and that is not what she said. So if that's truly what was said, I need somebody to screenshot that and send it to me, because I have a lot of documents and none of them say that. I find it odd no one has touched on why they went to get their laundry done and gone back at 10 p.m. They went and did their laundry on Wednesday, and they were back by, I forget without looking at the timeline right offhand, but I believe 10 o'clock. 3 young children kept out about until they get home at 10 p.m. That was on Wednesday. And then let me pull up real quick here. So they arrived at Patty's house at 2:01, and they dropped off the bank card at 9:19 p.m. on the 30th. And so approximately, around it was 10:19 p.m. the family arrived home for the night. And that was on, I want to say, Wednesday, because this would be Thursday the 1st and then Friday the 2nd. So I just wanted to point that out. Now I will go back to chat. Now I'm 40 comments behind, so let me scroll up here. It doesn't take long to get behind in comments. I have to say this, AI is a powerful tool for making databases, especially when copying an existing platform structure. I love Melissa's document. It has her heart and soul in it, just my opinion. Well, actually, I disagree with you. I took very, I was very cautious not to let my feelings into that document, as it is based off things that have come out of the family's mouth themselves, or the news, or the court documents, and not my personal feelings. But yeah, I mean, it took a lot of work. It took well over, it didn't take a week to put together, but I didn't use AI. I typed it in all by hand. In fact, I found a typo the other day that I had to fix, and I didn't notice it until I seen it on a live. I would hope that the RCMP could tell who showed up on the property that morning. I would hope that they did do geofencing, but again, I don't know for sure that they did. I would hope they did. Shush means nothing if it's not in the documents. It's hearsay, in my opinion. I agree, Lynn. And like I said, I just wanted to give an alternative to what that could have been, because it isn't in the document. So what do you believe? What the document says or what they're saying now? I put more weight into the document than I do what they say. If just because it's written down, it's in black and white, it's from a outside source, somebody that's not connected to it. Daniel was the first one to tell me about the shushing on the 17th. He even demonstrated for me. So Belinda, was it not then the like shushing baby M? Or I know I'm behind in comments, but
I'm wondering because maybe my memory is off, but I thought you said that Janie told you that during your phone conversation. I don't remember hearing that Daniel told you that, Belinda. Thank you for being here, but I'm like maybe I forgot, but I don't think I've ever heard that before. All right, sorry. And then I went ahead and started a couple. Except April, thank you. That's so nice. Thank you. Brian, there was 4 adults there, and what you heard and what you know is 2 different things. Were you there? And I'm not being an asshole, I'm asking. Because what we hear and what we know are 2 different things. I don't think that there were 4 people on the property based on what I've heard. You are entitled to a different opinion, but we weren't there, so we don't know. The people who were there, including Malaya, including Daniel, Janie, would have been in the documents. If there was another person, they would have been talked to. Um, I just, I don't think there were 4 people on the property, but you're free to think that way, but you can't say that without including you in that statement. Here, Rachel, I've dealt with Larry. My lawyer used his services in a copyright infringement case against my partner. We paid like 1K for Larry's service and he found nothing. Not a missing kids case, but still. That's interesting. Feel free to reach out to me. My email is taken across the bottom. I want the information. Like, I want to know it. I do. Criminal negligence, causing death, or criminal negligence for failing to provide the necessaries of life. Either way, they'd need to eliminate reasonable alternatives to meet the burden of proof. Erin, thank you for being here. There's that one. I already asked my question on that one. Would you explain what geofence is, please? I can only explain what geofence is as far as corporate vehicle tracking goes, and it's not the same thing. Maybe Damien would be good enough to put it in the chat, and I would be happy to read his response because
I can somewhat explain it.
Okay, you go ahead.
So this is a very lay way of seeing it, but from my understanding of geofencing from cases that I have followed is the cell tower reads, your phone, and the way it reads your phone is like a certain number. I think it's an MEID number or some kind of number otherwise. So they look at basically the tower and they say, okay, what phones did this tower connect to during a specific period of time? Now, if you have 3 towers, you can look at the geofencing or the, numbers, right, that are in each tower. And then somewhere in the middle where they connect, you can say, okay, these 3 towers, well, these phones all connected to all 3 of these towers. And like I said, this is a very lay person, and I may be wrong, but that's how I understand what geofencing is they look at the tower and look what phones connected to that tower, because that's what gives you service. So for it to connect to that tower, it has to read a number and basically make sure you have service. That's the way I understand it.
Thank you. And then I heard you speak about Janie's statement to the RCMP and I believe it was Hustler that said that, what was it? What was it again, Melissa?
I don't remember who said it.
That Janie said she didn't see the kids on Thursday. I thought it was Hustler. If I'm wrong, Hustler, I apologize, but could you pull that up on your document?
So here is Janie's statement to the RCMP and everything that she said. So, she had seen them all week. This was her timeline: 6 o'clock cigarette, 7 o'clock letting the dogs out. This is still the day they went missing. She said she originally learned that the children were gone around 8:48 a.m. Before she talked to Ron Mexico, but clarified that in her second statement. The dog was barking, and that's what woke her up. She heard, not seen, but heard Lily and Jack in the backyard playing on the swings and laughing, and then dozed off again. She heard Daniel Martell yelling at the kids. She figured he was yelling at Jack for some reason. So, as far as let's see here, hold on. So she said that the kids were in school on Monday and Tuesday, but not Wednesday due to being an in-service day. She said they went to do laundry, did not get home until around 10 p.m. on Wednesday. On Thursday, they did not go to school, but they were in the yard playing throughout the day, and she gave them snacks. Now, that is where I stumbled, because we know that the kids were gone Thursday to town, right? Dollarama. So how were they playing throughout the day outside and you gave them snacks when they weren't home? So that is something that stuck out to me. She said that of course we know that, and that they wouldn't go in the woods. So nowhere does it say that she's seen them, but it does say she heard them. Yes, it says, hold on, let me find. Janie said she saw the kids on Thursday. Yes, right here. Thursday, they did not go to school, but they were in the yard playing throughout the day, and she gave them snacks. And that is backed up by this court document right here. And let me see what section that is. 18C3. Right here. She said the kids were in school on Monday and Tuesday because the bus picked them up right outside their house. Wednesday was an in-service day and they were home, but they went to their grandmother's house to do laundry and didn't get home until 10 p.m. Thursday, they did not go to school. They were in the yard playing throughout the day, and she gave them snacks. And that is one thing that I noticed as far as differences between my document and his thing that he did. The thing Larry did is mine has clickable links. So anywhere it's blue, you can click on that and it will take you right to whatever I've got linked to it, which is the court document. That's one big difference I noticed.
Hey, there's one more that I'm gonna, um, and if you can go to, what time would that be for you? Around, Melissa, 5:40 in chat, and work your way down so we can catch up quicker, to start comments or questions. 5:40 p.m. if you've got your timestamps on, and then I'm gonna go through these starred ones. They think the kids were taken, so saying she heard someone shush the kids would work in her favor. I have only heard her saying no, she didn't hear shh. Me too. So Daniel said his mom believed it was Malaya, and Janie also said it to me on the phone. That was after Durwood came out and said it as well. Okay, so fair enough, but I think we can agree then that Daniel was told that. And was he told that by Janie or by Durwood? I don't know. And I'm, you know, I, I struggle to see how we can find that answer at this point. Almost a year. Almost a year, Belinda. I appreciate you're still trying to find answers in this case. I appreciate that, Mama Angie. You've been around for a long time too, so I appreciate that you're still here. Thank you. I'm going to play devil's advocate today. The theory makes sense. Prove me wrong. Okay. I can't prove you wrong, but what I can do is give you thinking points, I guess. And I mean, the same thing I was saying to Larry yesterday about it. If you you need to convince me that they were smuggled over the border or that they're in a community somewhere under lock and key, not able to see the daylight because there's no way that not a single member of any given community in this country wouldn't anonymously tip in a sighting of these two children. You'll never, ever convince me of that. And so if that's the case and they're under lock and key, I would beg to differ that they are alive and well somewhere. That is not a very great existence for a 5 and 7-year-old at this point. But that's besides the point. There's no evidence that the children were escorted off the property. There were no scent picked up. There were no tracks picked up. The sighting, the tan or gold car, was included in the first round of court documents, and that section was unredacted. And you and I, Ron, have talked before about how if anything is relevant and important to the investigation, they weren't going to release it to the public. So there was a reason why that was readily available for us all. And that's just my opinion on it. There's more, but we'll talk about it as we go through it. And also, you guys, I pulled up the court document platform, and they're basically just kind of like summary notes. There's no clickable section like there is in Melissa's. So for the court documents, at least, because this is the only part that I've looked at so far today, we're going to stick to Melissa's document because it does take us, if we wanted it to the actual court document. So it's more user-friendly to me for this particular portion. No one can say what the RCMP knows. The RCMP don't know, but there are aspects that make one think. Maybe. Yeah. Was this for me, Stickman? Were you born stupid or did you just get conned? I was born stupid. Thank you. Was it possible the kids were out playing a lot earlier and the three on the property are just saying 20 minutes? In my opinion, the police were too quick to rule out abduction and know they'd messed up. Just a thought. And by the sounds of Rob McCammon on the interview, they'll never admit any mistakes. But I agree with you. I think it's really hard to determine 20 minutes. If you were dozing in and out of sleep, you didn't know what time it was. Janie got off her phone call with Ron, and then, you know, that if you look at the timeline and even write it out between the time Janie got off the phone with Ron, dozed back asleep, and then somewhere in there heard the kids, but then they were out yelling for the kids at about 20 to 10. That's not a big time frame in there. So I'm agreeing with you, Lori. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. You still have to be nice though. These people, like, painfully respectful is my plan. Women's Warrior, good to see you. Hope everyone is well today. I think, in my opinion, the RCMP should make a statement to the public to clarify if certain individuals are cleanable and can be trusted. I don't think they need to go all that far, but they could put to rest some of the harmful information. And just like the Anita stuff. And when I reached out to, I didn't even reach out, sorry, I replied to my contact to let them know where to look to hear as quickly as possible everything that Anita was saying. That was my goal. It wasn't me saying she shouldn't be saying this. It was me saying, hey, yo, heads up. If you don't know, here's where to look. And that's my goal with the email that I want to send tomorrow. Um, I have to say this, AI is a powerful tool for making a database, especially when copying an existing platform structure. I love Melissa's doc. It has her heart and soul in it, just my opinion. The thing is, and like I said, I'm not, no matter what Stickman said, I am not stupid. Okay, I wasn't born yesterday. And I did hear everything on my replay. I didn't hear it live, but it doesn't make sense to me that he has been on this case between 7 to 10 days. He put this together, compiled all of this data together in about a week. His words, not mine. But then when Daleen came on, she said Major Crimes has had it for 5 days. So do that math. That only leaves him a couple of days to. But like I said, maybe they misspoke. I don't know. I just want clarifications. I'm not saying anything negative. But definitely Melissa's clickable, linked section here, at the very least. I prefer it to the platforms, for sure. Daniel was the first to tell me about the shushing on May 17th. He even demonstrated for me. I thought the kids got back after 4 p.m. on Thursday. Yeah, that's what they all said in the court docs. So that's what I'm going with. Not as fact, but what they said. I'm starting to not care a whole lot about what they've said in different chat rooms and stuff. We got to go by the court docs because that's what the RCMP are going off of. In my opinion, it sways that MBM may be responsible to where or what happened to the children, and Daniel and his mom have huge guilt on how they was treated on their property. Pretty sure that's exactly what I agree. The RCMP know who was there. I gather they knew from the get-go that something was off. I would think so too, but they still spent 6 days in the woods. She said she did not see them Friday, wasn't it? Nobody saw them Friday. Daniel at first said that he saw Lilly pop her head in and out a few times, but then I think he changed that to the door being locked and he heard the door rattle. Didn't he? I don't know. I don't watch DT, but I heard. Wednesday laundry day, but same clothes for kids till Friday. Kids were probably wearing same clothes since Wednesday if she didn't unpack the laundry Friday when they went missing. By Friday, yeah. Why is the Please Bring Me Home search only 1 day? I don't know, maybe because they've searched that area before? I don't know. They think the kids were taken, so saying she heard someone shush the kids would work in her favor. Oh, I did that one already. Thank you. Another thing that has my head spinning is there were so many lies, but if some lies are true, not everything can be lies without some truth. True, and that kind of brings me to another point that so Malaya hasn't talked, so we've got nothing to say. She's inconsistent, this and that, even though we've seen screenshots, whatever, right? But we know that Daniel has been inconsistent and Janie has changed her story. This is what we've been going on for months now. But I want to know is if they're so unbelievable and not credible, how are we, and I'm guilty of it too, but how are we seriously going to cherry pick what we're going to believe or not? We're doing that because of cognitive dissonance. Because it fits into our narrative. Well, that makes perfect sense. Daniel said that. That goes right here. That backs up my theory. But I'm willing to call him a liar for everything else that doesn't fit. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's so hard to do. But I have to erase all that bullshit from my mind, go from what the court documents say, remember all the shit, because it doesn't do anybody any good to forget about it and just clean slate, right? You have to remember it all. But we have to stick to what the RCMP say they know, which isn't a whole lot, which sucks. It's just my own opinion, because we're no better than anybody else if we're going to start cherry picking what we believe that comes out of Daniel and Janie's mouths just because it fits into what we think happened. It's just either they're credible or they're not. And if you have certain things that you're willing to believe, why? Are you willing to believe it because it fits into your theory? That's what, for me, that's what I think for me. Just saying. I meant it in the way that your dedication and work shows. Oh, absolutely. I couldn't even imagine having to build something like this. I've had to build some pretty monstrous workbooks for different departments for my job over the years. This is very impressive. I don't believe there was ever laundry done when it could have happened. What could have happened, Malaya was running errands most of the afternoon, evening. Did Daniel do the laundry? But regardless, it isn't important. They had the laundry bags and they all agreed on, or they both agreed on that. So I don't know. Daniel must have been the one to do the laundry. No, because I don't know. Yeah, Malaya, that's the day she went to get the plate. So he must have been doing the laundry. Unless Patty did it. He said his mom believed it was Malaya, and Janie also said to me on the phone that was okay. I did that one already. I need to unstar this one. And it was said that Larry's document reported that Malaya's polygraph was shown to be untruthful. Is he aware of the mistake and is he correcting things? Yes. He was told of the mistake and he is correcting that. Like I said, I've got my list going. And I mean, I'll give it to him when my list is done. So if you have anything that you've noticed, Ernestine, or anybody else, shoot me a message so that I can add it. And Ernestine, just so you know, I never hear from you. So when I got the message the other day, I just wanted to read it right away, but I couldn't respond right away. And then I still have a response. Just saying. I appreciate you. Can anyone confirm whether the kids and Daniel went into Patty's house or were kept in the car? I heard Daniel and the kids were in the car because of Lily's black eye. On Wednesday? So Lily got her black eye and then he took them out to the car? I don't think anybody can confirm that. The only thing I can tell you is that Daniel told me months ago that he was inside Patty's house with the kids that day. He said, I did not wait in the car. So, like, that's all I can tell you. They weren't in town all day, so probably outside before they went to town or after. Do you want to take over because you're the one that starred these ones?
No,
Melissa?
I need you to keep going because you're going to see what I'm going to be doing.
Okay, perfect. Why can't the kids have been outside before going to town or after? I'm just wondering if I'm missing something. You're not missing anything. It's a good question. Maybe they were, but odd that it's never been brought up or asked, as far as I can
Okay.
remember. All right. Oh, I'll take this down. We'll get to that, Deborah, and the rest of your stuff, guys. Go ahead.
So, the whole he stayed in the car. It's like, no, that's in the. There's something about that in the document. So I went back and I looked. So in Daniel Martell's statement to the RCMP, which is on page 2038, section 22G2, it says they all went to Malaya Brooks Murray's appointment and got there around 12:50 p.m. Malaya Brooks Murray went in to get, and then it's redacted, and he stayed in the car with the kids there. And this is where he says that the family stayed. The kids stayed at Patty's house. And that's in court document page 1538, section 20C2. There. Daniel Martell and the kids stayed with Patty. It does not say in the car. Now, it does say on Thursday that Daniel Martell stayed in the car with the kids during her appointment. So I think people are taking these two statements and, without realizing it, combining them.
Really? You're just gonna drop the mic and walk away? What the hell, man? I'm starting comments. Continue, please.
Okay, so let me go up to the start comments. I guess it's my turn. Did Malaya get home from washing the clothes at 10 or 10:30? 10:19. According to the court documents, and I can show you that here. It's been a while, so you gotta give me a second. Timeline. 10:19 p.m. the family arrived home, and this was after they left Patty's house at 9:30. So it took them 49 minutes to then arrive home, and that is per the court documents. These, where it says court documents, I still have to go in and link, but quite honestly, I haven't had time, and there's other stuff that needed to be done, so you can look at it. There was the lady who saw the kids leaving, suggesting of ascent to the road and the hushing. You're correct, Ron Mexico. That would be Natasha Haywood. And that would be under witnesses. Somewhere in there. Yeah, witnesses right there. And that would be, let me close that out. Go down here to Natasha Haywood. And this is where that is. So, yes. But again, she said that the kids were older in clothing that would not have been appropriate. So I have doubt that it was Lily and Jack. Just my thought. Grendel, I don't know what you were talking about. There's so many things that I have pointed out that I think are pointless. You'll have to fill me in. The dispatch audio does say 8 a.m. The RCMP was called at 10:01. But I don't know how I feel. I think with the 8 a.m., it was more of, we haven't really seen them. We heard them, but we haven't seen them since 8 a.m. That's how I took it. I very well could be wrong. Someone will fall and they will take down the rest. I agree. Matter of who and when. Ron, why did you go to town right after telling me that the kids were missing? That'd be a good question for Ron McKenzie. I wouldn't mind hearing that answer. But Ron Mexico is not Ron McKenzie, for those wondering. He's been on this case. He's been on this case a lot longer than a week, talking about Larry Cameron. He's been messaging people for about 2 months. Okay, but that's not what he said. He said he had been on the case for about a week. And I have that screenshot somewhere, and I don't care to go look for it right this second. But that is what he said. So Cool J 17, that is where we're getting that time frame from, is because that's exactly what he said. I'm going to leave the ones that I starred for you. The amount of people that would have to be involved in hiding the kids and no one has slipped up, the odds are 0 in my opinion. The odds are slim I'll give you that piece, Spice, but never 0, in my opinion. I disagree with you on the 0 part. Very slim, close to 0, but not 0. The odds are never 0. Now, like Grandma said, because it seems like my grandma's come out of me in the last couple lives, 3 people can keep a secret if 2 of them are gone. Those weren't the exact words she used, but due to YouTube, that's the word I'm going to use. So, I think it would be extremely hard, though, if everybody is lying. I'm not saying he is law enforcement, just an example of disclosing information to a trustworthy person who isn't just letting the public know it's safe, etc. Not just Larry. I forget why I started that one, honestly, Women's Warrior. I'm sorry. I started it for a reason, but I don't remember what it was. We don't need to just stick to the RCMP or the documents. You're right. We have to also take into account what the family themselves have said, which is in the document that I did. We've had main characters speaking out since month 1. You're right. Since like day 2. Day 1, actually. Was Daniel Martell's first interview day 2 or day 1? Either way, day 1, day 2. What they say may be fact, but it's a fact. They said it correct, and that's important as well. And I agree with you, and that's why when you go down and you'll have the like Daniel Martell, and you'll have what he has said in interviews, and then what he said to the RCMP. Same with Janie, same with Malaya. I kind of gave up on Darren and Jordan. I've even got Cody Sullivan and Belinda statements in here. So nobody is being left out when I did this document. I will say, and I haven't meant to, but I have neglected adding things maybe as much as I was in the beginning. But a lot of what we're hearing still is just repeat of what we heard in the beginning. If something new comes out, I try to add it, and people are free to send me stuff if they want me to add it, or send it to Shar. She'll send it to me. So CJTL comments that are being deleted, that is just mod speak for somebody was rude and we took them out of the chat for a moment. It's not you. Your comments are showing up just fine. Larry thinks the Canadian and U.S. border is comparable to Thailand and Cambodia. I doubt that, first of all. But for those people who say, well, they could be in the U.S. Okay, look, I get you can buy fake documents. Okay, you don't have to tell me that. I know this. My line of work, I know this. But I find it hard to believe that the kids would have been able to make it over the border. Again, odds are really slim, but never 0. I don't think you understand how some of the reserves work. Police not welcome in many areas. You're correct. No one talks to the police, and the relationship is one of hate. I don't know about up there, but I know that there are a lot of reserves that don't trust the white police. This must be where you started starring. So I'm going to take over, and I had some starred for you. And I'll let you take care of those, and I'll start starring from here. And do that.
Sure, not one person has come forward to say LC has helped them. The reviews he left when asked this question. I noticed. It also explains Daniel and Malaya not contradicting one another. Thank you for that, Ron. Sea Legal. White Rock. Nice. Love White Rock. It's beautiful. Well, I live 5-minute walk away from the Vermont border. It's a joke to be able to walk across without being noticed. I started this because I want to know what you mean by that. Do you mean that it's easy to do it, or it's a joke to think that you wouldn't be noticed? Like, can you clarify that, Diesel, please? I don't think Durwood is smart enough to drum it up. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know why I started that one, Ron. I'm just kidding. Ron, no one saw the kids leaving the property. They supposedly saw the kids on the road walking, and RCMP have already looked into it. Not wrong. Explains passing the polygraphs. Explains Malaya leaving and not searching and going to the beach. Daniel refused this time to polygraph? Who told you that? Because that's not accurate. Daniel did indeed do a polygraph test. With the last round of polygraph tests, yes, he did. And I have the list of questions that he was asked. Daniel being in the car came from Wade and Tint, and Wade wasn't even talking about that day. He was talking about another random day. I wanted to ask you, Melissa, can you find in the court documents, because somebody said in chat, I can't remember who, I apologize, but somebody said in chat that Daniel said in the court documents that he waited in the car at Patty's. There we go. If you could see if you can find that for me. Because Heather Warren says Lily got black eye on Wednesday and no, Daniel didn't go into Patty's with the kids. So who did the laundry, Heather? And how long did he wait in there? And who watched the kids while Malaya was out with the baby getting the plate for the car? Any receipts in regarding if Jack and Lily have res identification? No. I don't recall this, Firehorse. I mean, I was with Sunny every day in the beginning, and I do not recall this person being vetted or even brought up. I don't think so. I'll ask her, but I don't think so. It's not like I would remember anyways, but I will definitely ask her. Why did he contact Malaya on May 4th? Larry? Give me a sec. Give me a second here. I mean, I'm sure you guys have all seen the screenshot, but he did send it to me the other day after the live stream. Not yesterday's, the other one, when we were going through the document. So at 4:37 p.m. his local time on May 4th, 2025, Larry sent Malaya Brooks Murray a Facebook message. Hey, can I get your address to figure out if there were devices in the area? Also need a date/time range. No response. So that's why. Do you want me to show it to you? Because it will. Just so that, I mean, I'm sure I've seen it on other streams, but feel free to screenshot this. Melissa, don't do anything with yours. Absolutely keep it up. But I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna make it bigger. So if anybody wants to screenshot it to have it, but that's what Larry sent me that he did. So, okay. Bonnie, I for one just cannot grasp the idea of Malaya leaving the area and not returning until 11 months later. I don't get it either. 6 weeks of laundry for 5 people, sheets, towels, etc. would have taken hours and hours. I agree. And Daniel said he didn't wait in the car, and that's why I asked Melissa to see where in the documents it says that.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Go ahead.
Maybe, maybe not. like I said earlier, I believe this to be the blood work. So they went to Malaya's, and this is personal information, so it's redacted, and got there around 12:50. That, I think, is the blood work. Malaya went to get the blood work, and he stayed in the car with the kids. All 3 kids were sleeping, so it was quiet. So again, I really believe that to be the day that they went for blood work, which would have been what, Friday? Was that Friday? Hold on a minute. In addition to what he provided his previous statement, he said this about Thursday. So Thursday, he stayed in the car with the kids. Not Wednesday, Thursday, which I think is what I said earlier, unless I was wrong. But that is the only part that I have come across where it says about him staying in the car. So, and then that goes into polygraph. So I just looked through 1, 2, 3, 5 pages of Daniel's statements to the RCMP, and he did not state in the court documents here that the RCMP has released that he stayed in the car unless I somehow overlooked it. I'm turning it back over to you.
I appreciate that because I'm so far behind in chat. I didn't even know Daleen was here. So the elite chat was 12 or 13 individuals. We then changed the name and had a handful in chat. No chat for months. Christine Enrig has a group called Elite. Just so everybody knows, I do not work with Daleen Thomas, and I am not part of the elite group of investigators, clearly. You first became aware of Larry on March 9th. Good, good, good. I keep hearing about this elite chat and have no idea who is part of this so-called group, and I don't know why it's a secret. I don't. Then the next one, Daleen. Lost a member of 2, you said, and wow, that happens to be the number of Monsters of Sabotage members they say they have. No, last night they said there's 11 of them, remember? Really behind? Join the club. Thank you. Does anybody want to come up? Gren? Daleen, do you want to have your Brandon discussion today? That would be great. No, I have not. Leo the Lion, Truth Seeker, thank you for being here. Most people would not believe the truth. I don't know about that because the truth would have results to me. Maybe to me. Were the children not living with them at the time of the disappearance? What you talking about? Don't start that stuff. You guys have to realize when people like Belinda, they make comments like that. When you make comments like that, Belinda, in a chat room, somebody's going to screenshot that, and that's going to be the next narrative. Okay, so careful, please. Belinda said in Charmaine's chat, I can already see it. Can't wait. Can't wait. And Leo, yeah. Leo the Lion Truth Seeker, would you like to come up on panel? Tell us what you know. We go through this every time you're here. It's good that you know stuff. It is, but you're asking us to blind faith, and you're allowed to come up. You're allowed to speak. You're allowed to tell what you believe, and nobody's going to attack you. That's all. humble pie will hit so many of you. Leo. Leo, Leo, Leo. Okay. I thought I was close to the bottom. What the hell? No, Leo is not Daniel. Um, RCMP is confusing things. First, they say it's not, if they are in the woods, they're likely not around. Then they say all options are on the table. And then they take it back and say they may be around. It's crazy. Yeah. Leo the Lana. Huh. Never thought of that. Leo, are you Alana King? I don't mind if you are. No, no. Who is Larry? Larry is a person who's working with, not for, but with, I don't even know if he's working with Daleen and Chrissy and people to put together a large document, not unlike what Melissa's done here, but we're looking at Melissa's right now. Janie M said in the docs, the RCMP, they got home from laundry Wednesday at 10 p.m. This time is contradicting court docs.
No, it
Didn't she
doesn't.
say that in the court docs? No, she said that in the court docs, so it's not contradicting, because I remember pretty much everywhere Janie said, and Daniel said, that when they got home, she said, getting home kind of late, aren't you? You know, remember, because we were all like, I thought you didn't pay any attention to what they, remember? I do. Were they sleeping before or after being seen on CCTV video?
I have that pulled up.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I will pull up the Janie statement in a minute about getting home. But to answer this question, Cold Burn, the missing visit was between 12:49 and 1:27 p.m. according to the court documents, and that is when the kids were sleeping in the car. They then went to Dollarama at 1:44, where at 1:53 Malaya Brooks Murray entered the Dollarama with baby M, and at 2:01 Daniel Martell entered Dollarama with Jack and Lily. So the short answer to that is before. Now I'm going to go to Janie's statement about the around 10 o'clock so I can pull that up. I'll give it back to you for a minute.
Okay, and I'm going to post the live stream link in the chat. Anybody's welcome to join. Remember, you must be respectful and keep it relevant. And we can't have a replay of what happened here yesterday, even though everybody has the right to speak. Absolutely. We're gonna do a follow-up to that whole thing, but I need more information. So I'm gonna post this link. I'm hoping that Grandel and Daleen will come up and discuss Brandon. Please. But if you're not any of the people that this live chat is proclaiming you are, then how, if you've talked a lot, there's only so many options, because if, you know what I mean? Like, are you Cheryl? I mean, your spelling seems to be a little bit better than Cheryl, so I don't know. Like, who are you then? Don't be scared. If Leo knew the truth, then RCMP would know the truth. I think Leo might have an opinion more than actual knowledge. That's facts. It would be helpful if Leo could, just say that it's his opinion and he believes based on the information he has. She, whatever, they. Anita,
Found it.
again, I don't know about that either. I still don't see Gren or Daleen backstage. Come on, you guys. Come on.
So, as far as this is Janie's statement, Janie provided the following background information, blah, 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 blah. Section 3. She said the kids were in school on Monday and Tuesday because the bus picked them up right out front of their house. Wednesday was an in-service day and they were not home, but they went to their grandmother's house to do laundry and did not get home until 10 p.m. And it was backed up by, I believe, if I remember correctly, let me go to it because I don't want to misquote it. I believe it was in the court documents that they said the 1019. Yes, it was in the court documents, which I don't have linked here, but I can go get it. But it was confirmed through court documents on page 15 of 38, section 20C6. And this is the wrong one. So let's go up here to 16 of 38. C, did I say C6? Wait a minute. 20C. So I need to go up one more. Malaya and Daniel's father. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. C6. Malaya and Corporal McIntyre looked at the Google Map timeline for Wednesday on Malaya's phone and learned the following about the day. At 10:19 p.m., they arrived at home for the night. Okay, turning it back over to you. I'm just saying, I'm tired of all this. He said, she said, this says that, this says that. Let's go through the document and let's really see what these say. I'm not saying my document is better than anybody else's, but I mean, you can just, okay, you can't hear, but like polygraph results, you can click on it. If it's blue, it's going to take you right to the polygraph result. Like, I just don't understand why there's so much confusion. I'm trying to keep this as factual as possible. And I have from the start.
So, I mean, I don't know who Leo is, and I don't think it's Anita because Anita is quite angry at me for absolutely no reason. And plus, she doesn't like my hair. I cannot see. And plus, Leo said that I haven't been, talking, or actually, they said they talk a lot. Anyways, we've seen whatever. I don't understand Leo. I don't like playing Where's Simon and Marco Polo with people. If you don't want to identify yourself, that is totally up to you. I don't care. But I wish that you could just say what you think, right? I want to say what you think. Leo could be Anita's YouTube buddy. Mike DeMann actually has a very specific typing pattern, and that's not it. So no. Who else? Who else and what else? Anybody coming up? You guys? Michelle James, good to see you. And everybody else? You think Leo is Malaya, and I want to know Leo's theory. Anyone know? They've never shared their theory. Never. Daleen, how would you know that there is not crossover between elite group, the original elite group? Well, Daleen, didn't you just say that Chrissy and whatever? I'm leaving that. Not touching that. You think Daniel is Leo and Ron Mexico, Captain Injustice? No, I strongly disagree.
I just
Well,
want to
she
say
doesn't like my
something real
hair.
quick, Char.
She offered me her hairdresser 'cause she doesn't like my hair, Diesel. So I, d- I'm crushed. I told her thanks, no thanks, but you know, it is what it is. Go ahead, Melissa.
So there's been, I don't want to say an issue because there's not really an issue, at least not on my end with Daleen. But first of all, everybody back off Daleen. Don't make me defend her, please. Well, I guess that it's theoretically possible, but I highly doubt it. And I have to agree, I doubt that they would be making videos about themselves. But you don't get to come back with, well, she said no and now she's backtracking. How is she supposed to know? Honestly, like, who is Melissa? What? Anyway, I don't know. Don't make me defend Daleen. Just please be nice in chat, please. That's all I want to say. Hey, who you talking to?
Just myself. Clearly, I was like, this is like who's who in the zoo. Like who? I don't care if people have, you know, screen names and they don't want to be. Could you? I don't blame anybody that doesn't want to be publicly identified in this case because there are some crazy people out there. That people have a right to anonymity. But if you're going to come out and say, you know what happened, you don't have to tell me who you are, but at least tell me what you think happened and why you feel so strongly about it. That's all. If we're all going to be surprised by the truth, then tell me what truth you're talking about. You don't have to identify yourself unless that truth would identify you. And I think you know what I mean. Jam to the Jam, thanks for being a member 5 months. And anybody else that I missed, I'm so sorry. Jam to the Jam, thank you. So, Leo, why not just share your thoughts with the chat or stop with the madness? Same thing. Melissa is somebody that was in Facebook groups early on. I don't know if she was ever active in YouTube live chats. I don't know. But I do know that Melissa turned into, she got blocked from enough Facebook groups that she started and probably more, but I do know that she started another account under the name Taylor Gardner. And then from there, I believe, I don't know for sure, but I believe that Brad Turner.
I'm
They
glad
denied
you
it to me, but
explained that.
did I? But like I said, I don't know for sure about the Brad Turner thing. This Brad Turner denied being Taylor Gardner to me, but they had both said they were originally Melissa. So, and to my knowledge, they're not posting the way that they were up into including a couple of months ago. So I don't know for sure. And once again, it is not me. I am not Brad Turner. So, were you going to speak? I'm sorry.
I'm not sure, Kelly. I'm not sure what's going on, honey. I've seen a couple of your comments, but if anybody's being mean to Kelly Thompson, you need to stop because she's my mod, and I'm not gonna have it. I've asked everybody to play nice in chat. I don't care who you agree with, who you don't agree with, but this attacking each other is getting out of hand. So please be nice. Okay? I get everybody's emotions are high in this case, but in the end, I truly believe, I know for myself, Shar, our mods, Belinda, Chelsea, and I believe most of you, that your end goal is finding the truth and knowing what happened to Jack and Lilly. It doesn't matter who Leo is, unless he wants to come up here and really tell us what he thinks instead of this guess what I'm talking about crap. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have joined you today because I'm in a mood.
Mm-hmm. Calls himself Leo. Interesting. Leo, if you definitely know the truth, have you contacted the proper authorities? I also don't think that we are going to play guessing games. This is about Jack and Lily. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't care who Leo, the lion truth seeker is. Like their real identity. I don't care. And I don't care if they don't want to share factual information that could, harm the investigation. But there's no harm in saying, instead of saying, like, you guys are all going to be surprised, you don't know, you're not going to believe the truth, blah, blah, blah. Tell us what you think. That's all. Just tell us what you think. I have misunderstood Daleen with a few things, but generally I get along with her. At the end of the day, we are looking for Jack and Lily, and that matters more than different views and opinions, right? And I know there's a lot of people who, you know, I did get a couple of, messages. Why is Daleen on your panel? She sent you a cease and desist. She did. And she had apologized for that. I got over it. And I believe that anybody who wants to talk in a positive way, which don't come at me, about what could have happened to Jack and Lily, there's no reason for me not to talk. There are people that I will not talk to, absolutely, because they bring nothing but they raise my blood pressure. It's the only reason. Even though their goal is probably to find out what happened to Jack and Lily, I have no use for them. However, I will talk to most anyone who is respectful to the kids and respectful to me and my mods and the people that like to come in here and chat respectfully. I want Grandel and I want Daleen to come up on panel because there was talk about Brandon Lemieux. Brandon Lemieux gave Daleen permission to answer some questions about him, and a lot of people are curious about Brandon Lemieux. And so I want to, you know what? I want to hear from her. And I want Grandel to be the one to ask the questions. You heard Cheryl created Brad Turner, just what I heard. I have a hard time believing that. Most people know that I did have contact with Brad Turner for a short period of time at the beginning of this year. And that was the only contact that I had with Brad Turner. Brad Turner's thoughts and Brad Turner's text pattern, I guess, spelling, intelligence level, I don't know. To me, not the same vibe. Just to me. Maybe, but I doubt it. I make Leo feel important for people to think he, she, it knows what happened and is now getting all the attention. Do you remember back in the day when Daniel or Durwood would enter the chat and all of the attention would go to them? Michelle James, I sent Shar the screenshots when you said Daniel was driving around partying, so please call me a liar again. Okay, I'm not doing that here. I just have not talked to Michelle James, but I will, Robin. Thank you. I will send it to you. People are using people's pictures and being sneaky. Moods are fun. Yeah, I agree. I don't know who threatened to block you from the chat, but so if somebody says they're going to block you, that just means they're going to block you from their feed. So, for example, and I don't mean to call Mr. Hemi out because I don't care, but back in the day, I believe Mr. Hemi thought that I was into like witchcraft and stuff, and that's not his vibe, so he blocked me, like my personal account, my Charmaine YouTube account. And so I can see him when I'm doing my live streams, but I can't see Mr. Hemi comment if I'm watching or if I'm in another live chat under my personal account. I don't see anything Mr. Hemi says. So because Mr. Hemi has me blocked. Do you know what I mean? So you're not being blocked from the chat, you're being blocked from that person's view. That's all that means. And that's their prerogative. And I don't see the point of all the troll accounts. They all get caught in the end. Yeah, you heard the name before, not sure. Melissa, that's what it is. And now I don't know if that is partially like her partial real name. Not a clue. But I believe it was the first persona of the Brad Turner saga. Started with Melissa way back in the beginning, and then turned into Taylor Gardner. And I do not know, I denied to me that it was Brad Turner.
And for
In
the
my
record,
opinion,
it
I'm in
is
a mood
not
to.
me.
No, it is certainly not Melissa. Hmm. We have our big pants on in this chat, Leo. We can be respectful while still disagreeing. Absolutely. And to me, it's not even disagreeing with Leo. It's just stop being dick. Come on. Okay, but who do you think did? Who do you think did have something to do with it? They didn't vanish. Do you think they walked into the woods? Do you think they're still up on the pipeline trail? Do you think Please Bring Me Home is going to be successful next week or 2 week, whenever they're, I don't even know. Have they released a date yet?
I don't.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Yeah, actually, come to think of it, I don't think they are releasing. Thank you, Kelly. What did Ron Mexico say that was funny? What? What? I didn't see it. Receipts for what? Wine? What's that about? Is that rude? It doesn't look rude, but maybe there's a underlying meaning that I don't get because I don't watch drama in other channels. Sorry about that, Robin. But I mean, if it's a joke, then like I don't know a thing about it. Give me 5 minutes, you'll let me know. That was probably 20 minutes ago. What's going on? Got here late to the guessing game. Cheers, chat. Too bad Lily and Jack can't play games anymore, right? It's a good point there, Ruby. Like, I don't know why anybody cares who anybody else is. Shara, you asked me about the border and I answered, but I think you missed it. Totally did. It's easy to walk across where I live. Okay, perfect. Good to know, Diesel. It's crazy to me. I also watch Brian Enton, and I know it's not a Canada-US border, but the US-Mexico border. He literally walked through live streaming. They didn't even ask to see his ID. He just got into Mexico. Crazy. I think, to me, I won't even say it. I'm going to let you see it, comment, and then I'll tell you what I think. Guilty as charged. I did associate you with those witches. You cleared that up when you split with Sunny. I need to unblock you. It's all good. And like I said, I have nothing against anybody who has a spiritual, path. That's them. I'm just non-judgmental. Weaponized confusion is real. Leo, there is no free speech here. This is Char's channel. It's not a democracy, it's a dictatorship. Really? Is that what you think? Is that what you think? Honestly? Because you're wrong. Cool. That's not correct at all. You showed me one time I was disrespectful. I have never insulted or cursed at any other members, unlike many of them insulting me. Okay, well, I just know that you said the other day on the live stream that he gave you permission to answer some of Gwen's questions, and I just thought it would be a good time to do it. Nice Sunday afternoon. Belinda, sorry, Leo, at the end of the day, no matter what the outcome, Malaya and Daniel are responsible. They were most certainly responsible for the children's well-being and safety, and they are missing. So it's hard to argue that point. Is being very rude to me. He's not joking and called me unhinged as well. How nice. Missed every bit of it, Robin. I apologize, but I missed every bit of it. And Ron, be nice, please. I don't know. There's obviously a backstory there, because I'm called unhinged and worse on the daily. But if it bothers you, block Ron Mexico. Brandon Lemieux is a witness who has been a witness since day one, since May 2nd, actually. So
Hey, Shar, I
Margaret?
just want to point out some of the starred comments. You might want to read before you post because they're not actually for you to post. They're just for you to see.
Why don't you continue going through chat then while I do that? Actually, let me answer this first. These questions all had to do with escorting the kids. Did you escort the kids off the property? Did you take the kids off the property? Did you hand the kids to anyone to take them off the property? Those questions, I do believe there were 4 questions again. It's illegal. But it was all about taking the kids or leading the kids or giving the kids off the property. I don't know if I was allowed to say that. Sorry if not, but I mean, keep, I would rather have that than other stuff about, Daniel refused to take a second polygraph or Daniel failed his second polygraph. Like, how do you know? How do you know? Who told you that? Who told you that? So that is what it is. Okay. I don't know what I can and can't read of the star comments, Melissa, so I'm going to read them and you go ahead, continue with the regular chat, I guess.
Okay, so, I don't know. So, Carrie's, y'all are moving too quick today. My fingers aren't working. I still feel that Daniel is covering for Malia Brooksbury, in my opinion, possibly. But when you boil it down, the truth of the matter is 3 people on the property, 1 biological parent, 1 step parent, 1 step grandparent. The 2 parents are responsible. So whether or not who's covering for who, I don't really know that matters. And I mean, as far as Leo the Lion, just ignore him, guys. He comes in here and he wants to dangle hope in front of these families, and it's not right. So just so Cool J said he thought that the second poly was about the blanket. I don't know. Shar will have to answer that, but again, he took it, so he didn't refuse it. That was the point of that.
No, it wasn't about the blanket. No.
Okay, well, that answers that question.
I
I
believe
can't.
that was Haley you're thinking of. Haley was asked about the blanket. She said that on the news.
Well, that makes sense since she was in the group that found it. It's unlikely that D is covering for M. If there was a cover in that respect, there would be no court case with other charges. That doesn't necessarily mean they can't cover for each other, in my opinion, Diesel. I mean, they could still be covering. So another channel did say those were the same questions Malaya had. The news report stated Malaya passed and Daniel Martel declined to comment. Okay, but declining to comment and declining to take the test are two different things. We literally take everything any of them say. Belinda, Daniel, Malaya, Janie, Durwood, we pick it apart and try to figure out what's going on. So I don't blame him if he didn't want to comment to the news after being raked over the coals for almost 11, getting closer to the year mark.
I'm just strolling through chat. I think I still disagree, Cool. If you can be if you can be respectful, I don't want to control anybody's speech. I don't like that word dictator. Because even when I'm talking like to my mods, it's like it's our channel. You know what I mean? I have no idea what I'm doing. None. So y'all help me wing it every time I do a live stream. Seriously.
Okay, I got a comment
And
on.
I'm not going to put the comment up. Enough of you have addressed it, but I am going to say that I do not think that, you know, and I don't think that Cheryl or Shelly, sorry, was bullying Larry. I think that she was frustrated and upset and was raising her own issues, and Larry had every right to leave. But I see it a little bit differently, and that, you know, and just like you guys, if there's if people want to talk about something and there's something that the host of the channel should know that could pop up as a result of having them on, maybe give us a heads up. Because I've had that happen before. Like even when I'm putting information out that I've been asked to put information out, and I'm not talking about Daleen or anybody, but I'll have my messenger going crazy, like, oh no, don't say that. Like, what the fuck? And I've bitched about it to you guys before too. Like I told people, stop messaging me. Stop asking me to put stuff out then. I'm a YouTuber. It's what I do. But if I'm gonna have a guest on here and there's some kind of lurking shadow that might pop up and cause drama, maybe let me know next time. Give me a heads up that some shit could go down. That would be great. That would be great. I had no idea. And I still don't see a problem with what happened yesterday. Probably needed to happen on all sides. And like I keep telling people, if you can stand by what you say, if you have conviction by what you say and what you believe, then you shouldn't mind being questioned on it. Just the way I think. And I've also said this before as well. Accountability and transparency is the best cure for any fuck ups. People make mistakes all the time. Nobody is perfect. But if you fucked up and you're being called out on it, maybe accountability and transparency is the best way to get everybody else to move on and focus on what matters. Look at me. I'm just on my soapbox preaching. We're supposed to be chilling today, you guys. Nobody wants to come up. I wonder why. Weird. Are you starring shit? Because I'm just, oh, at the bottom of chat. Finally.
Yes.
I get nervous nowadays when people are laughing at shit that That Ron Mexico says, I think I've got a trauma response to you now. It was a seriously disrespectful comment, so I called it out. You think it's okay to accuse people of disposing of bodies with no evidence? Oh, that's bad. Was that? I hope that wasn't deleted. Small detail. There you are, Leanne. I was looking for you because you did a super chat yesterday and I missed it, and I'm so sorry. And there was also a comment you made, and I'm so sorry. I missed your stuff yesterday. Thank you so much. Small detail. Malaya's father stating he is a tracker. It always stuck with me. Where was he the day of the disappearance? I think the text message, like the screenshot that we saw, was for Sunday. Like he didn't find out till Sunday. But like I said, I can't come out and say there's something suspicious about that because I don't know Malaya's relationship with her dad. Do you know what I mean? Everybody has like a family member, or a lot of us have parents that we wouldn't call for help, or that just aren't part of our everyday life, that just wouldn't be on that call list. You know what I mean, Leanne? So I don't think much about that. Mhm. Did you? Mm. Bring the money. Is it because my poker face? Is it because my poker face? I'm terrible. Nobody has evidence to confirm anybody's theory, honestly. And honestly, like I can't wait until I'm gonna be I'm gonna be getting screenshots and stuff about people, you know, in other chats saying that, my chat is full of trolls and people are being bullied and stuff. I mean, it doesn't go here. It just doesn't. And for everybody that's planning on doing that, save your screenshots. I don't care. I, I've asked it to stop, block the people that are bothering you. Um, you're flipping through your document. What are you looking for, Melissa?
So I think if I'm remembering correctly, you are correct. Malaya's dad didn't know until Sunday. And I'm telling you, somewhere in here, oh my God, I don't know where at this point, I had the interview he did. I didn't put it under there, did I? And I'm pretty sure I had it in media because I remember it was the decibel that did it. And when he said he was a tracker and he couldn't understand why Malaya didn't call him first thing. And if I remember correctly, it was Sunday that he found out, but for some reason I cannot find that anywhere at this exact second.
Leo, you just gave yourself away. I know who you are. It's all good. It's all good.
Henry. Haha. Right here. It's under social media links, and I used Hunter's because I couldn't access the decibel at the time. Malaya's dad Henry's interview. It's right here if you guys want to hear it. And I do think you're right. I'm like 99% sure he said he didn't know until Sunday. Sorry, that little thing stick out in my head, and that stuck out in my head. So I wanted to track it down because I knew I had it in here. So I just had to find it. But I do, before you go back to doing chat, let me find it here. I know exactly. Okay, there it is. Wow. Telling others to ignore me, you say. Yes, I do. Because you're coming in here and you're dangling things over people's heads and how everybody's going to be surprised. Nobody knows the truth like you assume you do. And we'll just say assume. So that's not right, first of all. And if they don't want to hear your crap and the same thing over and over and over and over and over, see how annoying that was? Then yes, I do tell them to ignore you and or block you. That's all up to them. I'm not passing judgment on you at all. Don't care who you are or what you are. You can be a lion for all I care. But just wanted to point that out. I'm going back on mute. You go ahead.
No, I just said I would be right back. I'm not gonna out anybody. I just know I know now who it is. Um RCM RCMP can lie about everything, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that they would lie. If they would. Yeah, I don't generally smoke on my live, but some days, it is what it is. It is what it is.
There's a reason I am off camera so much.
Oh. If the results are in court filings, then they would be accurate, right? Right. And remember, anything that we have seen so far, those court documents, even though we've seen, I think, 3 releases, lifted redactments, they're the same documents, you guys. We haven't seen anything. I think the date was, am I wrong when I say August 13th or July 13th was like the latest date in those court documents? Is that correct? But anyways, we haven't seen anything after that date from the RCMP officially, other than their typical updating the numbers, the amount of tips and tasks and stuff like that. But as for the court documents, they're all the same. They're not new court docs, they're just lifted redactments. That's all they are in the same document. What video you're trying to play? Smoke them if you got them.
So, Annie,
Doing it
the
anyway.
answer to this question is no, because Hunter S. True Crime has taken it off. So let me see if I can find it on the decibel real quick.
They lie. They lie when they must for the sake of active investigation. I don't know. So, and maybe I'm naive, but I think that withholding information or telling cherry picking the way you tell a certain thing isn't lying. Does that make me shady as fuck? Could, but I think that the RCMP choose their words very carefully, and I don't think that that constitutes lying. That's just my own opinion of it. You know? Who's Henry? Oh, yeah, right. There are people, Mr. Hemi, and I don't know if you know this or not, but there are people in everybody's lives who've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and anything you've done, they've done it 10 times over and better. And so when you have, and I don't know the man, I don't know anything about him, but is being a tracker a thing? I know that we've got what was that guy's name? Somebody on reality TV. He was like a tracker, but he was on reality TV. Like I don't know. I don't know. Is it a thing? Maybe I don't know. I wonder if the 1 year mark will pressure the RCMP to make some sort of statement. I've heard, Johnny, that at least um, at least one member will be speaking at the 1 year, and I believe they're calling it a rally. Don't come for me if they're not, but I believe they're calling it a rally. But we're supposed to hear from at least one member on the 2nd of May. As for an official statement, I heard 3 weeks ago, maybe longer, that the following week they were supposed to be releasing an update, like how many tips they'd had, tasks, and all the stuff that they do on those, regular kind of updates. I heard that we were supposed to be expecting one the following week. It never happened. Never happened. So, I don't know. Hey, Stacy. My opinion, I think when you get close to the mark of some sort of truth, do you think different people come in to divert and distract? Seems that way, doesn't it? Good to know. Good for you, Johnny. That's excellent. I was considering putting on one of my patches the other day, but then I don't know what happened the other day, you guys. I don't know. Oh, I got a cease and desist. Kind of went out the window. I don't know. Oftentimes, law enforcement don't do polys to immediately see if someone is lying. It is often a long game, especially when doing multiple over time. I have questions, cool. I wonder if, because we know that the the theory that the kids were taken off the property and hidden somewhere, that theory has been around for months. So did they do the same thing as the rest of us and just like, yeah, right, whatever. And then all of a sudden, when nothing else panned out, they were like, well, maybe we should look into that now. Is that why it took so long to ask those questions? It took till February 2026 to ask Daniel about leading the kids off the property. So why would it take so long, cool? That's not scolding. I was just having a conversation, one-way conversation. Maybe it's just me, and like I said, maybe I'm just naive, but I've got a lot of respect for law enforcement. When we had that big in Edmonton, there was a investigation where a bunch of officers were charged. Um, that broke my heart. I felt totally betrayed. When doing multiple polys over time, they often ask questions in the first session or two that they know a subject will pass. Man Tracker, thank you. That's him. Yes, law enforcement always makes comments on anniversaries, but I doubt there will be anything new other than they are still getting tips, reviewing videos, and the case is still active. Yeah. And we might hear that it's still a missing persons act investigation as well, which is why I question how anybody can be criminally cleared. It's a missing persons act investigation. And we've heard rumors that I think we've heard rumors, maybe I'm wrong, but I think we've heard rumors recently that Malaya was cleared of criminal involvement. And Daniel himself said they checked the box for no criminal involvement. If it's a missing persons act investigation, like how is that? Just saying. I don't mean any shade to Daniel whatsoever, and I'm not saying anything about Ron's generosity, but I do not think that Daniel would donate a single penny to me. Like, I don't. I just don't. um, Tracking who owes him for hydromorphone. What are you doing? What are you doing here? What is this? Is this to your document?
Yes,
Everybody.
that is the link to the document that I did. This is in the document like I thought it was. It's 34 minutes, so we're probably not going to play it tonight. But if you do want to listen to it, it is right here. It's under media links. It's a clickable link. It was posted by the Globe and Mail or the Decibel on 9/19, and it has Daniel, Belinda, Haley, and Malaya's dad, and I believe his mom, so her grandma. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I've seen it. Anyway, it's all in the document that I did. Right there it is. So I went ahead and dropped the link.
Thank you. And that is a podcast, correct?
So the Decibel is a podcast, but it's ran by the Globe and Mail. So it's the podcast here. If you don't want to go to the Decibel and find it, it is right here on that link. Will take you to the YouTube page where you can hear the 34 minutes and 7-second video.
Okay. Yeah, and I think everybody knows there's a lot of people that say, like, they call, like, I am a podcaster technically. They call this a podcast, and technically speaking, a podcast, like, from my understanding, is audio only. And then, uh, YouTube live streaming, or um, like, there's YouTubers, there's TikTokers, there's, you know what I mean? There's influencers on Instagram. To me, and maybe I'm wrong, but to me, it's not the same as being a podcaster. Podcasts to me are audio. I have a podcast with my daughter. This is not a podcast. I don't know. But that decibel thing, that is a podcast. So don't expect to see a video or anything like that. It's audio. He Malaya's dad tracks deer, not children. That's interesting. Didn't video show Henry with a cane? How's he tracking? Some people are pretty mobile with a cane. I don't know. To be clear, the kids are not being hid on any reserve. Thank you. I'd say I know, but I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure. When I go talk to um somebody at this reservation around here, I'm pretty sure they're gonna tell me the same thing. Harley's here. I don't know what he wants. Door's wide open. He never shuts it. Gathering of Hearts, is that what it's called? Okay. True Crime Story Podcast. Are you still going to stay at the hotel, former jail in New Brunswick, and join a search? See, legal, I was planning on being there for May 2nd this year, but I've had things come up in my personal life that I have to deal with first, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to make it. So, although I'd love to be there, I cannot. I am going to hijack Kent's live stream, and we will be live streaming it on my channel. But it is still definitely a plan. It's something that I do want to do, and I'm very sad that I'm not able to make it out there for May 2nd.
So, Shar, I
Okay.
want to answer a question here real quick, Annie, and for anybody else. So anything you see here like this that is blue, you click
Sorry,
on
I'm
it.
gonna interrupt. I have to go deal with Harley, so I'll be right back.
Okay, so you click on it and it'll bring up this little window. And then when you go up here and click again, it will take you right to whatever you're wanting to see. As far as when you go down here to like this, if you click here where it says court documents and you click it again, it will take you right to the court documents. Like I said, I think it's the timeline. I don't have the court documents linked. However, if you go to Malaya's interviews with the RCMP, or you go to Daniel's statements to the RCMP, all of this blue here, those are all clickable. So hopefully that answers your question. Yes, Johnny says the Privacy Act information about who has been cleared is often protected under the Privacy Act and won't be shared with the public or the family unless it serves a specific investigative purpose. I agree. And I think at this point, as much as I'd like to see this criminal and I'd like to see charges, if doing it under the Missing Persons Act gets them more leverage or more ways to investigate, then I'm all for that because I don't want the charges to fall through. So not all podcasts are audible. So, on the decibel, if you just type it in, it is audio only, but you're gonna have to scroll way back for that specific thing. Yeah, I know. I was kind of hoping to see the old jail too. No, your comment, at least not on my end. I mean, I miss a lot of comments. It's hard to keep up, but I try. I see comments from you. In fact, I think I've highlighted a few tonight. So, I don't know. People are concerned due to the fact that any evidence being found will automatically be assumed as staged, especially if a family member or close friend finds it. I agree, and I brought up that exact same issue before, I love that families want to go on these searches, and I think families should search, but at the same time, if a family member finds a body or a family member finds evidence, you know, I'm torn because, like I said, I think they should, but at the same time, I would side eye, especially in cases like this. It makes you wonder. There's too many stories out there now. They may not ever find the truth, sadly. But I think once Jack and Lily are found, their bodies will tell us what we need to know. My opinion, Jack and Lily are not handed over. There's no abduction and never walked into the woods. I agree. Sadly, I agree. See, let me scroll down here. Sorry, guys. I got sidetracked. Belinda has the same concerns, so. Chelsea says, Leo, it's a very small window of opportunity. If all parties are telling the truth, that would have taken planning. If that's the case, in my opinion, I agree. I forget now. I broke it down in a different document that I did just for me. And I had it narrowed down to like 7 hours of when I thought something could have happened. And like I said, this document was just for me, but I put in the proof of why I thought what I thought in there. And I think that's kind of what the RCMP is probably doing as well. Or at least I would hope so. Not necessarily a document, but okay, well, what proves this? What proves that? I think that some family members are allowed, then all family members should be allowed. I agree. Unless that family member is a suspect. Like, if I don't even know how you guys know what I mean. I'm not going to give an example because I can't think of a case that I feel comfortable giving an example of. But if you think Joe Smo killed Lori Lynn, his little girl, then you don't want Joe Smo on the search looking for Lori Lynn, okay? You guys are smart enough to figure out what I mean. Even people who participate in social media have been outed as dishonest. And if they found something, I agree. But again, you go back to, you just have to really be careful. And I'm sorry, but if I was going to go on a search, as a private citizen, I would have my cell phone out recording the entire thing. No gaps, no pauses, no nothing. Or I would have a GoPro or something. Just because I'm the type that I would want to cover my own butt. If they said, well, it was planted, and I can show them the video and say, no, it's not. In my professional life, I went on many searches and didn't feel the need to do that. But as a private citizen, I would feel the need to make sure that I had it documented, so that nobody could say, oh, well, she planted it, or she moved it, or she touched it, or it wasn't where she said, or whatever. I would be extremely cautious, and document everything. Myself, as a team leader, I wear a body camera. Exactly, wear a GoPro, body camera, something. Also, the RCMP are aware and haven't voiced any concerns. Exactly, because that covers you, right, Damien? That covers them. And if somebody comes back and says, well, Damien touched it, or Damien moved it, or it's not where Damien said, or whatever, you've got the video to back it up. That's what I was getting at. So I'm glad that you wear a body camera. I think all searchers should. It's also definitely plausible if others know of the neglect. So, Carol, the link I posted above is actually to the document I created, not the link to the clickable link. Are you back yet? She's not back yet. Oh, there she
Yes,
is.
I apologize. I was catching up on chat because there's a few comments that I know that you skipped over, which is fine.
I
But
just picked a
couple of
random
things.
spot and started.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's important to me. I already spoke to that one. I wish I could, but I will. I will get there. I hope I will get there. Took till February 2026 for second poly because it's a long game. There will be another poly months from now. Guaranteed. Look at the Dean Penny trial. On trial now. Mr. Big operation on him for 4 years. Yeah. Fair enough. I'm not sure, Leo, if I was referring to Mayor Thorpe. I don't think I was, but in what context, I don't remember. I've seen lots of incompetence. My brother was RCMP and they were more elite back in the day. The women ruined it. If off, I'm joking, kind of, going the right way for, never mind. Anything you can do, I can do better. Just saying. Are you not concerned that family members, and I know you guys have been talking about this, My thing, Johnny, and I don't know, and this is going to sound terrible, but has it been discussed or brought up? And you don't have to answer it, but we know there's a video posted somewhere of a group of searchers that are going to be searching. They were already out in that area, and they are close, obviously, to this investigation. So, I mean, if they were already out there and just say something is found in that area, it's a it's a problem to me. I can't for the life of me make sense of why they thought that would be a good idea. It's my own thoughts. Thank you for being respectful and asking a question instead of insulting me and telling others to ignore me. Answer your question. I don't really know. I hope and pray they are still alive. I think we all do. Belinda has been banned, but Cheryl, Angeline, and Christine are good to search. And Malaya. Brian, you're right. There's too many stories out there now. They may never find out the truth. Sad. No one is going to be searching alone. I think it would be difficult to stage anything in this situation unless it was already done. And I don't mean to sound pessimistic or conspiracy theorist, but it should be a concern. So it not it's just that if anything were to be found in that area that wasn't there when the group went out a couple of weeks ago, it would be called into question. It would have to be. It would just have to be. Millions were spent on the Maddie McCann case and still not solved. I hope this isn't the case with Jack and Lilly. So many children who go missing don't have the exposure. And so many children who go missing are never found, and it's very disturbing. Are the RCMP involved in the next search? That would be a question for Johnny or Damien. Yes, I can. Offered you her hairdresser. Things are that important, right? It was just what she thought was a low blow, but again, I have a hard time giving a shit what anybody thinks of me anymore. It's the joy of menopause. I don't care. If you don't like me, good. I was there, Shard. Johnny was there, and they never left our site. Good to know. I did not know that. Good to know. The RCMP is not involved in the next search. I don't think they're involved in any of the searches, but does anybody know if the RCMP or Ground Search and Rescue are planning another search? Or are they kind of turning that over to Please Bring Me Home? I don't disagree with you. Absolutely. I think the RCMP will wait to see what happens with Daniel's current charges, and unless some evidence is found for Jack and Lily's case, in my opinion, it will be a no body case. They will wait 7 years. Will they wait 7 years? Well, they didn't for that Justin kid, right? And again, they have to have evidence. I should look into the Justin's case. Was it Justin or Jason? I'm pretty sure it was Justin. But they were doing a no body prosecution and then they found the remains before it went to trial. And I don't even think it's gone to trial. So Ever think the RCMP may not want this solved, protecting CAS from their culpability? You think they're protecting Child Protective Services from their culpability? You think the RCMP would be protecting Child Protective Services for allowing children to fall through the cracks yet again? Was Damien on the recent search? I thought I had seen this, but can't help but wonder why the sudden desire to go out and only certain people. It wasn't offered to the public, if I understood right. I wonder. No, I think so. I think people, they signed up to search and then they were vetted and interviewed and approved. So anybody could have, absolutely anybody could have signed up to search. Not everybody was accepted though. Depends on your physical ability. Depends on your personal situation. Like from my understanding, Belinda was not able to search due to her pending litigation in family court. Daniel, I think, I have no information to back this up, but I think because of his current charges, yeah, and I don't even know if he signed up, but you know what I mean? Like, I think anybody could have signed up, just not everybody was approved for various reasons. Find me fair and respectful. I appreciate that. I do my best. Some days it's a chore. Anyone can go out in that area anytime they want, so I don't think it matters that the group went out a few weeks ago. Many people, including some of them, have been out searching without cameras. Fair. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying, okay, so if we remember the news news story that we all saw after the November 17th, Please Bring Me Home search, and we saw that that geocache box was found by Cheryl's group, Janice Potty, Cindy, that group, that and that geocache box had something with Daniel's name on it, and that was very interesting. But then we saw them kind of handle it with their bare hands, and people, and maybe not people that mattered, but people were questioning how ironic it was that that particular group found something with Daniel's name on it. So it's not a matter of whether they would plant something or not. And I'm not saying they would. I'm saying that anything that is found, if something is found in that area, I think it would just automatically be called into question. Sad, but it's true, you know, right or wrong. It's just, it's the temperature of this case right now.
I
Justin
have a
McDonald,
question
thank you,
for
Brittany.
Damien. And I don't know if he's still here. But Damien, can you please find me an answer to this question, if you could? And this is a serious question, and I'm not trying to be mean or lay blame or anything else. But if you look at these pictures that I'm showing on the screen right now, he is holding what could have been, isn't, but could have been evidence with bare hands. They're touching everything inside with bare hands. Can you guys, like, I don't know, have, it doesn't even have to be like the latex or the nitrile gloves, but can you guys please, like, use gloves like that even? Like, instead of touching it with your bare hands, can you bring that up to Please Bring Me Home for me? That doing things like this upset me, and I think you should have gloves on. I'm just saying, if he could find that answer for me as why things were touched with bare hands, and if you guys could be provided gloves or any kind of glove for that matter, so you're not touching things with your bare hands. That's it.
That's, I mean, I talked about this at the when it happened, And that I'm not slighting these people for doing that, but this just because this is the group that didn't have a Please Bring Me Home member with them. They're not trained searchers, nor investigators, nor evidence gatherers. It's not something that they're well versed in. So I don't think that they did this on purpose, but that it just shows the importance of making sure that there is experienced professional searchers with every single group. And if it means making larger groups to to accommodate the smaller number of professional searchers, that is so important. And this is case in point why. Because had that been actual evidence, it would have been contaminated. I know that they could have taken these people's fingerprints, but again, there's no, it's reasonable doubt. It's
So we have
reasonable
an
doubt.
explanation. That was quick.
What?
We have an explanation. Root said nobody was supposed to touch anything. They were supposed to take a picture and send coordinates to please bring me home and walk away. And then Damien said, exactly. And Belinda also said instructions were given on the first search. Damien, can you tell them they need to reiterate that this is not acceptable, please, for me, just for my own mind's sake, because I'm anal about stuff like that. Because if that could have been evidence, it would have been right. Please, thank you.
Right. They obviously didn't follow the instructions then. If they were instructed not to touch anything, it's odd that they touched anything. And so this is why I mean, that's just why I think that I know that they had enough um, professional or trained searchers in every group but one, but then that one group had a news reporter with them and a camera, so nothing was planted. But then you have situations like this, which like I said, had it been actual evidence, it would have been a problem. So I don't I said maybe they did know better and maybe they just got excited or like who knows why they ignored the instructions. I don't know.
Well, I
But
appreciate that Damien says that is a standard speech before the searches. So those of you that are going out and search, now it lays on you. Follow the rules. How would you feel if your children were missing and a group of searchers went out and was searching and was handling things with bare hands, and that's the evidence you needed to convict the person who did it, but because they touched it, you weren't able to use it, all because those searchers did not follow the rules that they were given. So if you go out on these searches, I implore you to follow the rules that Please Bring Me Home or whoever gives you and stop touching things.
yeah, and I mean it's really good. More experienced team leaders are being brought in, which is why some from Ontario are joining. I think that that's great, and I'm, you know, yes, Belinda believes. I know a number of people that were approved to go out and search, and I'm really happy that you're all joining in, and I hope something is found, and at the same time, I hope nothing devastating is found. I, it's a dichotomy. It is. I hope for answers and I pray for answers, but I couldn't imagine being the one that finds something. The group in question should be totally broken up and they should have a Please Bring Me Home member with them. I think that was what the point is that they're doing. I did send that to you, Michelle, by the way. Who touches things found, those people should not search. Evidence tampered. There could have been prints, DNA. Right. That's the point. Can Please Bring Me Home or another search group do a water search? I'm curious why always ground searches. Yes. Thank you, Sea Legal. Does anybody have any information about or who can search the waterways nearby? I think that's just as important as searching the ground, because if they got outside of the original search area, if we're still going on the misadventure theory, and they got outside of the search area, who knows how far they actually went? Could they have gotten to a body of water? Is there a stream nearby that runs into a larger body of water? Mm. And also, locals, I saw pictures a few weeks back and TikToks about some like big flood, and it looked like it was in the area. Do you remember that? And do you remember that? And is
No.
that anything that you guys are concerned about? Like that flood that would have pushed anything a long way. Like that water was it was that was a rushing river of flood water.
My thing is with the water searches, it doesn't, I know that, well, in where I live, our water searches are generally done by police or our fire department. We have sonar on boats and such as that. But if somebody has a boat and has sonar on it, and that being the key part of it, you need to have sonar. Just go down the river, go 5, 6, 10 miles, whatever it is, go, 30 minutes or something down that river if it's big enough to get a boat in, and see what you see with sonar. What if the kids, let's go into the misadventure, if they fell in and got trapped by a branch underwater or got caught up in something underwater? Like, I mean, I understand that in most places it takes police or fire, but normal, regular people have sonar too.
Thank you for commenting, Shelley. I will provide funds for gloves for searchers if someone can point me in the right direction. If you just go to the Please Bring Me Home website, there's a link there to donate, or you can just email Nick and see if that's something they need help with. I suspect, I, be- I believe that the search is happening relatively soon, so I would suspect that they have that already, but thank you. It's a very generous offer. And just so you know, I know you commented on yesterday's live stream, and I left you a reply with my email address so that you could reach out to me. Thank you. They were hoping it may turn up evidence that may have been kept down or stuck up up on rocks or branches underwater. Yeah. Hoping, but it would also push it a long way, Gren. And I was like, whoa, that doesn't look good. The woods are too dense, plus there's a lot of fallen trees known as windfall for two small kids to travel through without leaving evidence. I'm with you, Leo. I don't know if anyone else here follows Saltwater Sean, but I've also, oh my God, I should wear my glasses. But I've often wondered if he'd be interesting in helping with something like this. Yeah, and there is also somebody in chat here that has two canoes that they've offered as well, if people who are experienced in canoeing wants to use them to search for Jack and Lily. A lot of times hunters, hikers, landowners, and dog walkers find missing people. Yeah, yeah. The ground has already been searched, checked. The waters maybe, in my opinion, by now stuff is camouflage. Look for cars or what they think is a stump, and it's not. There are sinkholes and unmarked mine spaces out there. Hmm. Then RCMP should do another water search with sonar. I know they did some areas last year, but more needed. Yeah, I agree. I agree. If you're going to keep searching the ground, you absolutely have to search water and ground, you know? I can tell you the waters were high a few weeks ago in that area. It washed out a railway bridge. That's what I saw the video of. The construction company was parked at the Lansdowne Road to get on the railroad. But anything would have been swept away, would it not? Just devastating to think. Okay, good. I'll go look for that when we're done here. Have a good evening, little black bear. Please bring me home is doing some this time. As stated above, I mean water searches take place as regular drills in summer. If the waterways though, if they're too swampy, then like Shannon's comment, they need divers and stuff, and it's a lot. We call them deadfalls here and widowmakers, which I'm sure everyone uses that term. I've heard of it. I believe sonar was used on some bodies of water, but basic body recovery is different from hidden body recovery. I've seen them cool, yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people that follow this case have reached out to some of those channels. Private searchers found Kylie Rodney. People who specialize in this area would be amazing, like AWP, yeah. And like I said, I'm pretty sure, especially Adventures. Man, I can't think of the name, but
It's
I know
Adventures
people.
with Purpose.
Adventures with Purpose. I know people had reached out to them and other ones as well. I believe you're right. Not unless they're. Anyways.
So, Shar, I
Daniel
got a
stated
question.
Jack and Lily were very close. Would one have tried to help or save the other, leading to both missing? I think that's fair if something were to happen to them, but I also think that the amount of time that passed, if if the morning timeline is to be believed, there wasn't enough time passed for the kids to be so lost and in such a state, just in my opinion, that hearing Daniel or Janie or the dogs that showed up not too long after RCMP calling for the kids wouldn't have prompted them to call out for help. I don't, just my own opinion, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm sorry, Melissa, go ahead with your.
So, you were wanting to compare document I did with the one that Larry did. Are you still wanting to show that one or no? Are you wanting to compare them? And I
We
know
went
that
through
was
we went through the document, like we went through the court stuff, and that's kind of what I was hoping to do. But this one, like I'll pull it up real quick just cause, but it's not clickable. Um, and it's kind of what I wanted to do is go through and just see the uh I don't even know, I don't want to call it like the usefulness, but like how user friendly this stuff is. So this is the court section, and yeah, there's witness statement, sealing, classification, text plus, but the information, like when I go to witness statements, for example, and I go down to Janie's section, statement 1, statement 2, key details, and critical, it's summarized. It's very, very summarized. Um, Initial account of morning event, heard Daniel yelling. That's it for May 2nd, and there's no way to click into the actual court document, which yours has that. So for me, I'm giving anything that I'm looking for in the court documents. I know that your document is exactly where I would go I would go to find it. Do you know what I mean? That was kind of my purpose in doing that. And I think that, like, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And like with the way he's got like witness statements, and I think you had it on Janie, the way I did it is in the court documents, I had a witness section, and this was just different witnesses that I had. But when it came to like Janie, it was in Janie's section in my document, if that makes sense. But I understand his is extremely condensed. But what I do like about his is he gives kind of more insight, like from, I don't know how to explain what I mean. I was trying to think of it earlier to explain it to you, but there's more of like the technical side of it or the professional side of it. Whereas mine is, here's the facts that we know, here's what's been said, here's the court documents, here's pictures of the kids, here's facts about the kids, um, stuff like that. So I think both of them, I mean, I appreciate his document, and I mean, I not necessarily, I don't know enough about him, but I mean, I think his had a lot of things in it that mine could never have because I don't have the qualifications to put them in there, if that makes sense.
It does. It makes sense. And I'm looking at the persons of interest, I believe. Which platform is this? I can't remember. But in any case, I'm looking and it looks like it's clickable, but then I try to click on the statements and stuff and it's still not taking me to the source. The sources are listed, but it's not loading.
Yeah, I think
Like
that's
it's
one of
not.
the big differences with his and mine. Like you said, it's not clicking. Whereas like if you go to Daniel Martell's section on mine where it says interviews, you can click and watch the interviews. I've got timestamps of things that I found were important. I picked out certain contradictions, um, things like that, that I wish his was more user friendly like mine. But I guess, in my opinion, here, if I were to compare the two, his is the professional and mine is the amateur, but yet a lot of information is there.
Like user friendly for laymen, for people like us who just want to quickly find what we're looking for. Like this is great that everything is in here, but I was hoping and maybe it will work to that since he hasn't been working on it that long. But I was hoping that it would be clickable as yours, as clickable as yours. Um, but for our purposes, as quickly as we need to pull up information to verify or show receipts, I think yours better suits our purpose for now.
And that makes sense. So Carol says such common sense. I'm not sure what you mean. My brain ain't working today, so you gotta spell it out for me because my brain ain't working. It's on hiatus at the moment. Um, Damien, has the area where the blue thing, I'm assuming that you are talking about the blanket. Are you talking this blue thing, Patriot? Which is the blanket? Checked all the way, been checked like down the hill, even with the drone. I can only assume. Clarification of terminology is important. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading chat. It's interesting. I can see it with my glasses on. Yes, it's Melissa. She did a
Yes.
fantastic job. Um, we've been praises she did this as well for the Sebastian Rogers case, and it's not unlike what Larry has been working on here, but like Melissa's document, let's put it back up because it is clickable. If there's anything that you want to see, not just read, but anything you want to see, there's links in it. Um, do one of my mods have a link for the document? You can always find this document on my community page, you guys, and on Melissa's community page on YouTube.
It's
Um,
also in any video I've done on Jack and Lily.
please continue. Sorry, I had to respond to somebody really quickly. Um, where are you? I mean, I don't disagree, and like I said, I do have a list of questions for Larry or Daleen or whoever, whichever wants to answer them. And I'm still going back through the replay because they're, like I said, I was trying to focus on chat to get questions and stuff, and I didn't hear everything. Listening back, my questions, obviously, I have questions. So, you guys hear the banging and stuff? I don't know what he's doing up there. It sounds like he's building a house or something. Um, that's dark. Oh, you took a look at it already, Shelley? Excellent. I don't know. For some reason, Leo will not tell us what they think happened. Lynn, simmer down. Simmer down. Not this one. Melissa's document. Um, and I mean, that's a question I have. That is a lot of children, and that is admirable work. But it also shouldn't be a problem to pull up any one of them on demand. So I do have questions. I do have questions. So why does Janie want us to believe the kids were abducted? Um, I don't think, I don't know, maybe it's just the wording of your question, but I don't think Janie wants anybody to believe the kids were abducted. I believe that Janie believes the kids were abducted. I mean, there's a difference. To me, it's all perspective, I guess, and how everybody, I say it all the time that it's fascinating to me how the human mind works. I can read the same thing that you read, have the same information that you have, hear the same statement that you hear, and we could have completely different perspectives on and how we take that. It's fascinating to me. People need to understand the definition of the word abducted is not the same as taken, right? And abducted doesn't mean, you know, one-eyed boogeyman came onto the property and scooped the kids and took them off into the Neverland. Abducted, there's many different um, forms of abduction. So, yeah. Thank you. I will get to that. I like to have all the information before I speak on it. I just, I could show I could show one side today and then let everybody get pissed off and run around and you know what I mean? Scream about it to everybody else for a day or two and then put the other side up in a couple of days. And that's just not how I roll. I'd rather have a good understanding of the situation so that I learned my lesson when I showed my first set of screenshots from Daniel. Man, did that go sideways on me. So never again. I'm going to wait until I have all the information that I need to understand the situation, and then everybody else is going to be brought in. I'll share it all, every bit of it. I forgot to block you. Not you, Leo. That's funny. I wasn't saying that to you, Leo. Janie, and do not know what happened at all. There are privacy laws for children. 17,000 is a wild claim, though. Yeah. Um, True enough, true enough. 17,000 children or 17,000 people. I think he clarified that yesterday. But again, it shouldn't be a problem to pull an adult case up that, and I'm not saying that they're not there to be pulled up and maybe it was just a, situational issue, stressful situation. I don't know, but you know, I appreciate that, Shelley. Thank you. I take when Janie said to Malaya, how long? That told me the kids were always out by themselves. Me too. And I did say that to Janie, and she said, no, that's not accurate. This is weird. To me, weird, right? Clearly to you too. 3 hours, you guys. I'm gonna end it. I got it. 10 after 5. I haven't even started my potatoes yet. It's got to be late for you guys too. Is there nobody else live? Is there anybody live tonight? What's everybody doing tonight, Sunday night? Going to bed early? You got to work tomorrow? Is that the thing? What are you doing tonight, Melissa?
Probably trying to get some sleep because I've got a long week ahead. I've got a doctor's appointment and then I return to work on Wednesday and we'll be gone for the week. So catch up on sleep while I can.
Makes a lot of sense. So Belinda believes this picture has been around since the very first vigil. We do know that Lily's name is spelt wrong, but it's a beautiful picture. It's it's not a thing. Oh, the playoffs on? I guess that is that time of year, isn't it? Okay. Less than 2 weeks from a full year. Eating chocolate cheesecake, leftover birthday cake. Happy birthday, Diesel. Happy birthday. You're very busy. Very busy. What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm gonna make my potatoes. I'm gonna eat supper. Feed Harley. Probably watch some shit on YouTube. Read some emails. Yeah. Flyers are not playing tonight. They won yesterday 3-2. Oh, so this isn't like the first game of the playoffs? Why you cost the mob? Why you cost the mob? I don't care. I don't hate it, but just saying. Okay. What happened to Sunny? Nothing happened to Sunny. Sunny is taking a break from YouTube. She has a full-time job and she's loving on her husband right now, and they're just living their life. That's all. Okay. Thanks, Shelley. I will talk to you soon. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Melissa. Have a great week, everybody. We will talk to you soon. Bye.
We could